We are your home for CBS Sports Radio. CBS Sports Radio, 940 WINE, Brookfield Danbury, a Town Square media station. This is Sports Radio 940 WINE.
Fumbles the football. Picked up far side. All the way back by Aaron Coleman for the touchdown.
Excuse me. You were damn predator. All right, just get the hell out of here. I got a goddamn okay, no. Okay, then I quit as your son.
This is Game Face, in your face. Sunday mornings, 9 o'clock Eastern, 1 hour of the National Football League Game Face style with the Frattman, Cisco Reese, super producer Reese, and Bridget, the new face of Game Face. All right, it's week number 14. Welcome to it, and thank you for being here and being a part of our show every Sunday, 9 o'clock Eastern. This show, boys and girls, is year-round, and we want to welcome a bunch of brand-new Game Face listeners. We're getting a bunch of new listeners on a regular basis now because word is spreading up on the Internet, especially up on Facebook, where we got a ton of new likes, that this is a radio show unlike most other sports shows. It's all football, number one. Now, you tell me, Cisco, you live, Cisco, close to New York City, the number one radio market in the world. There are two so-called 24/7 sports stations down there. Can you get a regular NFL show on either one of those radio stations? Even during the season, do you know exactly what time to tune in where you will hear nothing but the National Football League on either one of those radio stations?
No, hasn't been that way. I can't remember a time where there's been a show ever that was regularly scheduled.
Can you
Lots
believe
of horse racing.
Can you freaking believe that?
Baseball.
Tons of baseball, even in December and January. Drive against Dallas, and they lost that game. I said, that's it. I'm done for the whole rest of the year. Thankfully, I did not watch that game last week, but of course, my phone was lighting up, emails, texts, phone calls that the Giants blew a 21-0 lead, and they let our rookie, Perry, move down the field on a final drive to win the game. Bravo. So we'll be talking G-Men with Bert. He's a good person, of course, to talk the Giants with, regardless of what their record is. Fantasy Face, Cisco. Fantasy football here.
Playoffs.
How much is left here with Fantasy Face?
Playoffs. Last couple of weeks here. Much to talk about in segment 4.
Okay. Fantasy Face in segment 4. In your face matchups. Bridge is going to line up some good games for us to talk about here to close out the show in an hour or a little bit less than an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, Bonehead Football Media Matters coming up in the next segment. So, Bridge, I'm trying to remember now. Where's your team at, the 49ers? Where were they? Were they off last week? I don't remember what happened with them now.
No, we played the Seahawks last week.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, our favorite team.
Yes.
It was on Thanksgiving. That's why you're probably a little bit off memory-wise.
That's right. And so the 49ers lost. What's their record now?
We fell
7-5?
Yes, we fell to the Seahawks on Thanksgiving. It was a 19-3 game. And, yeah, putting us at 7-5.
Well, listen, there's a lot of football left. Philly, Seattle's coming this way, and everybody's like, oh, Seattle's going to come and stomp Philly out. And I'm saying to myself, teams that travel west to east also have that lag and time difference to deal with, and historically don't do well.
And also, Philly is undefeated at home, so there's...
And Sanchez is the next Norm. I listened to that when you said it, Bridge. That was hilarious. I got to pull that as a drop. The next Norm Van Brocklin. There you go. There's music that's apropos.
Apropos music. How about check out the bass line, baby.
Sam Spence, composer. That's just old-time good. Facenda, Winter, Mud.
1971 when the game was played by real men.
This edition of NFL Haps is brought to you by our friends at Al Horno Lean Mexican Kitchen. You can visit them at alhornokitchen.com. Lean Mexican Cuisine. Bueno!
Ooh, that sounds good. I'm hungry.
Bueno!
Mucho gusto.
I'm hungry. All right, so NFL Haps, Bert D-Man Bennett. D-Man! On the show in the next segment. Get ready for it. Adrian Peterson says that he is just entering the prime of his career. Too bad he's not playing.
But he's getting paid on this weird exempt commissioners something or other where I put players that I don't know what to do with list.
Now, he's a running back going into, what, his 7th or 8th year?
Ninth.
Yeah. How are you in your prime at that point? And how are you in your prime when you're not even playing? That's what I'd like to know. What's that all about?
I don't know, but the Giants are going on a deep run.
Yeah, JPP says they're going to go on a
deep run.
They're going to run the table. And the Browns' allegiances, you and I were talking about this before the show, their allegiances, of course, are to Brian Hoyer for the rest of the year.
No, I'm going to start the rookie that's one-dimensional heading into my playoff run when I'm 7-5. That's what I would do.
That's what most of the football media thinks the Browns should do.
Disturbing.
This is GameFace, CBS Sports Radio, 940 WINE on Classic AM in New York and Connecticut. And, of course, all across the planet, 940sportsradio.com, our Facebook page, facebook.com/GameFaceRadio. We are going to rip on the media here on this show coming up next.
This is Confessor Rodriguez Jr., director and owner of the Danbury Memorial and Cremation. I've been in the funeral industry for over 20 years. I've seen many families experience the loss of a loved one, and it's my mission to alleviate your stress throughout the funeral process. My promise to you is to keep funeral arrangements to a minimum without sacrificing service. Let us serve you through this difficult time. For further information about our premier life celebration facility, please visit danburymemorial.com. We're your premier alternative to costly funerals.
Geico presents Strange Savings Stories. Ken Marcus was making a pastrami sandwich when he noticed an odd pattern on a slice of pumpernickel bread, one that spelled out Geico. Ken found himself visiting Geico.com, saving hundreds of dollars on car insurance with great discounts. Later, Ken felt conflicted whether or not he should eat the slice of bread that saved him so much money. But he was so hungry.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Imagine cramming a 4-hour radio show into one. That's Game Face. It's like pre-Big Bang stuff, or the moment before kickoff, or right before you, Anyway, back to the football. Game Face style.
Through winding roads, past the green meadows and down shady lanes. Shut up. Shut up? Why, cite me. You don't think I'm the kind that would keep blabbing. Some people never know when to stop. When I'm told to shut up, I shut up. Shut up, shutting up.
Oh, yeah, baby, we're overcome. Game Face, crank up the music here, Cisco. Crank it up. Hey!
Don't cry victim to me. Everything we are and used to be is buried and gone. Now it's my turn to speak.
I love that band. Creed. Football music, baby.
Creed reminds me of Ted.
Ted?
The movie Ted.
Really? Was Creed's music featured there?
No, never mind. All the 90s singers sing like this. Hootie and the Blowfish, yeah. It's hilarious, man. It's Ted.
A theater is near you. A shout out to Arthur Avenue Deli. They have 2 locations in Carmel, New York.
And one in the Bronx.
Over there. Right over there. All right, so it's Bonehead Football Media Matters time. Every second segment on this show, every Sunday at around, what time is it? 9:10 Eastern in the morning. Every Sunday. Did I say Saturday?
Did you?
Sunday. I don't know.
I'm doing stuff over here.
I don't know what the heck I'm talking about this morning. Frattman, Cisco, and Bridge, and Bert D-Man Bennett. Bert!
How are you this morning, Frattman? Hey, Cisco and Bridget, how are you?
Awesome. What's going on?
G60, yeah! Are you ready?
What's the matter with Hootie and the Blowfish?
Are you ready to talk some hilarious Bonehead Football Media stuff with us here? Because I know you see it like I see it every week.
I see it, I listen to it, and, you know, it's pretty embarrassing coming from a New York flagship station of the New York Giants. There's a certain station in New York that seems to put a lot of emphasis on green.
You know what? Let's start out with that. And I'm surprised that there's not more outrage from Giants fans when it comes
when you're on a 7-game losing streak, you don't want to be spoken about. So, I mean, it would be if we were winning.
Well, but you know what? This is year after year, week after week. I mean, there's all sorts of boneheaded stuff I see daily, even throughout the year. One of the reasons we do the show, and I don't have to go looking for it. Just being a fan of the NFL and being a fan of the New York Giants, being in the number one media market in the country. I don't know what number one means anymore, but the number one media market. All I got to do is just like tune into the radio, read the paper, watch the NFL Network or ESPN, and you're overloaded with boneheadedness. So you brought up the first point, Bert. Let's cover it. The New York market with 2 24/7 sports stations, one of them supposedly a giant station, WFAN. This week alone, and this is indicative of every week, but this week alone, I tune in my normal 50, 60 times, and 75% of the time I'm hearing Jets discussion on WFAN, not Giants. I rarely hear the Giants talked about on that radio station.
If ever.
Well, the one time you do is when you get Carl Banks on, because he's like the only true Giant guy on that particular radio station. The rest of them, from the morning drive, mid-morning, late afternoon, it's all going to be Jet fans. Beningo, Roberts, Carton, Boomer.
Yeah, exactly.
And when they are talking Giants, and we've given them plenty of fuel for this fire, it's not good. But I mean, I'm really tired about hearing about Geno and Vic. Neither one of them are going to be your future. Get over it. Go find yourself a quarterback, for the 12th time in the last 20 years.
Is it 12?
Yeah.
Is it probably is that an exaggeration or is that really like close to the number?
It might be a little superfluous, but it's pretty damn close.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it's close.
Yeah, it's close, but it's every year. The football media here in New York is fixated on two Jets quarterbacks. It was Sanchez and Tebow for a while, then Sanchez and Geno. Now, by the way, most of these guys who cover football in New York, the Brian Costellos of the world, the Bart Hubbuck, if I'm saying his name correct, just madly in love with Michael Vick. Misplaced, misguided, slobbering love affair with a quarterback who's never done squat as far as
you remember Morris' father. He was a coach killer back in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I mean, it's never like he's ever put anything together that you can honestly say on his resume, hey, this guy he's the man, he's the game changer. Yeah, he was a good player at one point, but some of these guys love that little bit of a redemption story. They want they want to see a guy rehabilitated and we're just the place to do that. Yeah, because Rex Ryan is such a role model for young kids.
Yeah, and by the way, for Giants fans everywhere and the football media, you will never see Rex Ryan on the Giants sidelines in any capacity.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Because the social media is blown up with that. I mean, I've heard some crazy stuff, too. I mean, social media has given a platform for a lot of nutty thinking, like packaging up Eli and Cruz and trading to go get Marcus Mariota from Oregon. And actually, that was on Frances's show, I heard that. And Frances, actually, who was kind of bashing the Giants, and it's time for Tom to go, says, are you guys nuts? So, unless it's an outrageous idea from Mike himself, everybody else is an idiot.
Yeah.
So, and unless you're talking horse racing or Mickey Mantle, there's not much you can listen to on the afternoon anymore.
Pretty much. That's exactly right. And tell me why. Look, when it comes to politics and when it comes to the news media, I'm kind of like down the middle. I go to the right more than I go to the left, but I bounce back and forth depending on the issue.
Yeah.
Okay? I try to look at it as a whole-brained person instead of a left brain or a right brain.
That means.
Well, some people probably know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But I see a lot of the news media in this country just blatantly biased. And I got to tune into ESPN radio in New York. I want to hear sports. I really want to hear football more than anything else, which is rare on either one of those radio stations. What I don't want to hear is I don't want to hear Michael Kay and Don LaGreca and Brian Williams from NBC just laughing and slobbering over each other. It was a love fest between the three of them. Okay?
Well, when you have the hot stove starting to heat up now for the Yankees, and that's Kay's wheelhouse. He's right in. I don't know how most people do it. I'm not ready for baseball yet. I know that we have a really rotten season going here, and I get it, but I'm not. I just have this internal clock that tells me when I'm ready for baseball, and now it's being shoved down my throat on
no doubt
on a regular basis.
No doubt, but it's been that way year after year, Bert.
Yeah.
But Brian Williams, what is Brian Williams doing on? I mean, they're not even talking sports when he's on the show. Brian Williams, I don't know if I personally believe Brian Williams, NBC's Brian Williams, is a wuss. I think he exemplifies men who wear girdles underneath their regular clothing to work.
Girdles.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Slim teeth. He's a wuss. And he is so far to the left, I hear that guy actually lying and calling it news. And then I want him on ESPN radio. Yeah, okay, sure. Good. A great spot for him, right? And they're not even talking sports on the radio station. I mean, it's disgusting.
It really comes down to they just need to fill up some dead air, and they're finding any talent they can at this point. They have some flagship shows like the two Mikes there, Mike and Mike.
I like Mike and Mike.
I happen to agree with you. I happen to like them a lot. I think Mike Golick is great.
Yeah.
And Greeny's great too.
Yes.
So we're not bashing every show on every. There are some great shows, and to be honest with you, when they bring Malusis in or Kim Jones in, I kind of like listening to those guys. And there are times that I actually
Agreed.
prefer listening to them over Boomer and my fellow Syracuse alumni, Craig Carton. But there again, goes the whole bias against, and it's so funny because there's like bias and sub-bias. I mean, if you look at the media in general, they hate New York. And then we look at guys like Bill Parcells and Michael Strahan, who really Harry Carson had to wait to get into the Hall of Fame based on media voting.
Yeah, well, why is that? Why is it always the Giants players that seem to have to wait? Yeah,
I don't know. Warren Sapp gets in and on his first ballot, Mike waits.
First ballot, buddy. It's the same reason why Tony Romo, even if he never wins another playoff game, he only has one in 10 years, he will get into the Hall of Fame sooner than Eli Manning will. Period.
No question. And we had this. There's a good friend, Nancy, that she's on a couple of our really hardcore Facebook pages, and we had this exact discussion. Why is it that way?
Yeah, why is it that way? Because anytime you hear a discussion about Tony, he's so great at this and he's great and he never gets the credit. And look, he's so good. And we're going to put 40 pictures of his smiling face on the screen every time he scores a touchdown. But Eli, he's not there. He got lucky. He got lucky winning 2 Super Bowls. And he's on his way out now, and he's not his brother.
Well, he never was his brother. But I think a lot of this stems from this fantasy football, Madden football game GM mentality that a lot of these people have. Sexy stats are what makes a great player, not championships. If you look, if Dan Marino had been playing in this era, oh my God, you can't even imagine how much love he would be getting right now. But still, no Super Bowl rings.
All right, let's get into some specifics here that I saw during the week. And Bert, give me your quick take on this stuff as we try to run through all these here before the segment's over. First of all, these guys spend so much time at the Post and the Daily News trying to be cute all the time that they actually end up copying each other. And this drives me nuts more than anything.
You want to see the Twitter love fest that goes on between these guys.
I can imagine, because most of them wouldn't dare talk bad about each other because they're all part of the Glee Club.
Yep.
Okay, but here on Game Face, every Sunday, we're bashing these guys and their freaking Glee Clubs. Okay? Monday, the day after the Giants losing to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we will be talking Giants with you next segment, D-Man. But here's the front page of the New York Daily News. Nail in the coffin. And then the back page of the Post. Nail in the coffin. They're so original, man. That's so cute and so original. Both papers used it. Shut up!
Wow.
Yeah.
Nail in the coffin.
Nail in the coffin. Yes.
Intern.
And intern alert. Both papers used it at the same time on the same day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do they have the cheesy Photoshop in there? That's the New York Post. They love that crap.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so here's Beningo over on FAN. Boy, this guy he gets his facts wrong daily. This guy comes out with stuff. It's like, dude, what planet were you living on 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago? He was talking about when Coughlin got hired, and he goes, "You remember when Coughlin came in? Over there?" And he said that the injuries were, the injuries were a disease.
That's a great Beningo.
Isn't it? It's top shelf.
The guy that came in, he was just a fan calling in, wasn't he? And then he went to school of broadcast.
That's exactly right. So you got to give him his due as far as getting to where he is now. I don't take anything away from him in terms of determination and what he did to have a regular shift over there on FAN. But, dude, get a clue, number one. Number two, take a voice and diction class so you sound more like me, Cisco, Bridget, and Bert D-Man, okay?
But, you know what's funny, though? I'm going to talk about he is those two are the most agreeable human beings next to John Gruden I've ever heard on any media. I mean, it is just a love fest. If you call in and talk about somebody, he's great, bro.
Oh, yeah, no doubt, bro. That was a good Beningo.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Well, you listen to him enough, it kind of rubs off. I think if I come home talking like him, I'm probably going to get thrown out the door.
How about that? How about that? Yeah, how about that?
How about that?
So
That's
he's talking about Coughlin taking over in 2004, and he's like, you remember when he said that all the injuries were a disease? No, Beningo. He said that they were a cancer.
They were a cancer, and and he's right, because I brought this up once before on your show, and it was said, I don't know if these guys understand that this isn't out of Coughlin's control. The CBA has a lot to do with this, where they limited practices and in pads and in full contact practices. These guys are not as in good shape as you normally would be. And then also let's take into account that these guys are faster and stronger than they've ever been.
Listen, the Giants are the most injury-plagued freaking team year after year. Even when they won the Super Bowls, they'd lost 40 guys on IR. I don't know how they keep doing this. Everybody's only starting to recognize it now, except Ken Palmer from the Giant Insider, who we had on the show a couple of weeks ago. He seems to understand, one of the few that understood that this is every year with this football team. Okay, but here's what blows me away, Bert. I heard Bingo, and I heard two other guys on the radio. And here, I've got it right in front of me right here. Okay, this is an example of what I'm talking about. This is our buddy Serby, Steve Serby.
Steve Serby,
yeah, from the New York Post. He's got a piece in here about how. Here's what he writes: the injury epidemic he can't do anything about. Oh, it's not his fault. It's not Coughlin's fault. All the injuries. This is all I'm hearing from the media is, well, it's not Coach Coughlin's fault.
It's got to be somebody's fault because, yet again, another torn pectoral. Ayers gone for the season. I mean, how many torn pecs can one team suffer?
Wait a
minute. It's somebody's fault. I don't know if it's Coughlin's fault, per se.
Cisco. I got to look at the training staff at this point. But,
Cisco, I need to know, Bert, is it not the head coach that is in charge of hiring the strength and conditioning coaches for a football team?
Yes. Absolutely. And he's had the same guy since 2004, and I think he brought in a new assistant, and I want to say from the University of Maryland.
So how is the injury situation not the head coach's fault, especially if you're looking at Philadelphia? I cannot believe the Giants are way behind the times as far as I'm concerned in terms of strength and conditioning, nutrition.
But where's the article? Where are the articles, by the way? Has somebody written a single article about the fact that, perhaps it might be time for a new strength and conditioning?
Not one
major rag except for Ken Palmer.
Yeah, nobody in the football media is even talking about this stuff. Unbelievable.
And there are a few hardcore guys that are coming up, and I hear it popping up once in a blue moon, and it really comes down to that, ultimately everything falls on the coach. We've had this talk, Steve. Everything falls ultimately on the coach's responsibility. It's on his head. But and Coughlin is notorious for being too loyal. But there's obviously an issue. I mean, even in the Super Bowl years, you're right. Shockey goes down. We lose him in 2007. We lose Osu. We lose Kiwanuka. I mean, you're right. We've lost guys. Not like this year. I mean, this year's, it may not be the number of injuries that are big this year, it's where they are. I mean, there's big names that went down.
Here's a quote from Jeff Schwartz, who's been with the Giants just this year, first year with the Giants. Quote, I don't know what else to say. I've never been hurt before like this twice in 1 year. My response to Jeff Schwartz, welcome to the Giants, buddy. There you go.
That's my beat writer right there.
All right, let's wrap up Bonehead Football Media Matters with one more point here. This exemplifies, Cisco's been hearing me talking about this for years now. This exemplifies these boneheads that are in the football media, 90% of them. The Jets lose to the Dolphins on Monday night, as we all know. Okay, the post-game press conference with Rex Ryan. And here's one of the questions that some dweeb creatively came up with. Do you think you did everything you could tonight, Coach, to win the game? That was the question. That's like Pam Oliver talking to the quarterback or the head coach of the losing team who lost the Super Bowl in their locker. How do you feel?
What's the mood in the locker room right now?
What's the mood in the locker room? I always love that question.
Yeah.
What do you think it is?
How do you feel? About that? Can't wait.
I gotta tell you, I'm gonna miss Rex if he's gone. He gives the greatest post-game pressers in the history of modern pro football. I still see him coming out in his Rob Ryan costume for the Cleveland Browns with a wig and the belly. It cracks me up. But you're right. The bonehead media again. Here we go again. It's one of the. It's almost like they feel it's important to ask a question, not ask an important question.
That's exactly right. I can't come up with a better question than, do you think you did everything you could to win the game tonight?
All right, it's Bert D-Man Bennett here on Game Face talking the bonehead football media with us. Yeah, buddy. All right, we're going to come back and talk more with Bert and talk to G-Men next. Hang on.
I don't remember. Something in my past created a hole.
Warning, you may experience extreme weight loss using the following product.
Attention, if you need to lose 30 pounds or more, you're qualified to participate in an absolutely risk-free trial of an extremely powerful weight loss supplement. It's called Final Trim. To participate, call now, 1-800-906-9985. Final Trim is a proven breakthrough in weight loss. Take 2 capsules just once a day, and you can experience maximum weight loss, pounds in days. It uses natural ingredients, making it healthy and safe. If your weight loss with Final Trim is too dramatic, please decrease use and only take 1 capsule a day. To guarantee participation in this trial, you must call now, 1-800-906-9985. For your participation, you'll receive a full-size supply of Final Trim to use absolutely risk-free. Again, if you need to lose 30 pounds or more by taking Final Trim just once a day, call now to participate in this nationwide risk-free trial. 1-800-906-9985. That number again is 1-800-906-9985.
Geico presents Strange Savings Stories. Ken Marcus was making a pastrami sandwich when he noticed an odd pattern on a slice of pumpernickel bread, one that spelled out Geico. Ken found himself visiting Geico.com, saving hundreds of dollars on car insurance with great discounts. Later, Ken felt conflicted whether or not he should eat the slice of bread that saved him so much money. But he was so hungry.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
You would think that there's more than one year-round NFL show on the radio. What with football the most popular sport in America?
But you would think wrong.
Game Face is it. Amazing. Cisco and the Frattman, it's all yours, guys.
Manning steps up, dumps it off to Donnell, and Donnell fumbles the football. Picked up far side. All the way back by Aaron Coleman for the touchdown.
Excuse me.
Oh. Thankfully, I was not watching that game. Cisco and the Frattman, Bridget is here. This is Game Face. Sunday mornings, 9 o'clock Eastern, year-round, baby. Year-round.
But you may find that blood is not enough.
Want to give a shout-out to Evolution Fitness. They are on Route 6 in Mahopac, New York. How about that?
How about that?
I got an infection. It's go. How about that? I've been doing that all week. Kim's like, dude, you say it one more time, Bert.
Bert D-Man Bennett is with us here on the show this morning, who is spreading the word about Game Face up on Facebook, and we really thank you for that, Bert. Man, we're getting a lot of likes on our Facebook page as a result
of.
Big fan of
your show, Steve.
Yeah, buddy. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. So let's talk the G-Men here, and I gotta say something here, Bert, about our Facebook pages that we're a part of up on the website, and I got to give credit to a lot of Giants fans because I'm constantly seeing them posting positive stuff. All right, so it's not our year, but guess what? We got 2 Super Bowl championships in the last 7 years.
This is still our team. We love Eli. We love this. We love that. We're Giants fans forever. All this positive, wonderful stuff. But I have to admit, I'm pissed off.
Yeah, and I am too.
I'm pissed off, and I'm seeing this stuff, and I'm like, sorry, I don't feel this way. I am pissed off. I'm not even thinking about 2011 and 2007. Right now, that stuff is ancient history to me because my team is embarrassing. They're embarrassing. And it starts with Perry Fuel and that freaking defense, and here they go again, allowing another quarterback and another offense to move down the field with a minute and a half, 2 minutes left to score a touchdown and win the freaking game, and a rookie, no less. Thankfully, I didn't watch it, but of course my phone blew up after the Giants blew a 21-0 lead with all kinds of calls and texts from people asking me what the heck is going on with our football team.
Yeah, got the same texts, the same tweets, and it really comes down to the fact that we can't get any pressure on any quarterback, and any time that we have a quarterback that's mobile and can move outside the pocket, there's nobody to stop him.
I tell you, it's really so. This is George Willis from the New York Post. Head coach Tom Coughlin said someone should have been assigned to shadow Bortles. The Giants had prepared during the week for the keeper. Quote from Tom Coughlin, "There was no surprise there."
We never have anyone spy the quarterback. I don't care if we're playing Michael Vick, if we're playing Bortles, if we're playing any quarterback. We've never been able to handle a running quarterback on our fuel system, even when we were playing well. And it was made apparent over the last couple of weeks. And then this is the interesting things too, Steve. I was just thinking about this. Perry Fuel came out last week talking about how not having DeMontre Moore on the field against Dallas on that last drive was a mistake. Devin Kennard sat most of that last drive against the Jaguars out.
After having 2 sacks.
After having 2 sacks.
And did you notice, Bert, very quickly, we are with Bert D-Man Bennett, G16. Bert, very quickly, the blitz finally started to get there when Fuel started using it. And where's that been all year?
Yeah. It only took until the 13th game of the season.
And a 3-9 record to start bringing some heat. And when they did it, they were actually successful.
Well, because a pass rush and pressure on a quarterback is going to cover up a lot of lacks in the defensive backfield. And
absolutely.
What a great idea. How about we push a rookie quarterback, let's blitz him. No quarterback makes getting hit, but how about a rookie? And what do? Is that you get away from the blitz. It's the most asinine thing I've heard and seen is because whatever seems to work, and it's usually on both sides of the ball, not just saying the defense, we get away from. And what ended up happening at that point was when Bortles was able to sit back there and just be able to pick apart a decimated secondary, again, Eli Manning, it's his fault because of the ask half the fans, that's probably the case. But, again, we have a defense that can't hold a lead. A late lead in the fourth quarter. There's no reason why a 1-8 team, 1-9 team should ever have to be able to march down the field late in the game and take the game away from you, let alone on a 22-yard quarterback run.
Let alone a rookie quarterback, let alone after getting up 21-0 on these guys. Odell Beckham, listen, I got my issues with Fuel, as you know. I'm not watching another Giants game until he's out of here. Done. This guy better be gone by the end of the year. But here's Odell Beckham talking about the fact that the offense let off the gas pedal in the second half, and I would have to agree with him based on everything I'm seeing here and reading. I didn't watch the game, okay, but the one thing I'm seeing with this new offensive coordinator is he's playing it too close to the vest. He is adverse to taking any kind of risks. He's not the type of guy that goes for the jugular, obviously. And he probably figured, like Dan Reeves used to, we're up 21-0. We don't have to do anything now with the offense the whole rest of the game.
Yeah, not being stat aware of what the other side of the ball is doing.
Right. Right.
And Joe Bryan was just as guilty as this too. But with all, if we're going to talk, facts here, is that Joe Bryan used to play what I would call a prevent offense. Let's just go to sleep, and we're up big. Defense will take care of it, and it worked when you had a defense. But, it's not like we're playing with the 86 Giants and the 85 Bears here. I mean, we're playing with, this is bad. We got a bad defense right now.
A very bad defense.
Agreed.
Paul Schwartz in the New York Post, the Giants report card the day after losing to Jacksonville. He's got 4 grades here, 1 for the offense, 1 for the defense, 1 for the special teams, and 1 for coaching. There's only 1 F on this list. Wait a second. You blow a 21-0 lead against the 1-10 Jaguars and a rookie quarterback, and there's only 1 F on the list? Every one of these should be an F. Every single one of them. He actually gave the defense and the special teams a C. Hey, we really like that special teams coordinator, don't we, Bert?
Oh, God. I mean, how he survived the Philadelphia Eagles game in 2010 is beyond me. Between not covering the onside kick and D-Jack running it back, Matt Dodge putting it right down to the hash marks on that last punt of the game. And we've never had a consistent special teams unit ever.
Never. Not under this guy.
Nope. And
we've had a flash. We've had a Ron Dixon sighting once.
Yeah, exactly. And what do? Is they're going to grab our stud wide receiver who is now healthy.
Yes.
Who is building a hell of a reputation. I mean, you got Richard Sherman who came out and said this guy's the real deal, and he doesn't like anyone, including himself. He says he's the real deal. And we got now, what we're going to do, we're going to give Tom Quinn, Odell Beckham to return punts to try to spark something.
Right.
And every time he goes back there, I get nervous.
Eerily reminiscent of inserting Seahorn. Hey, let's put our star cornerback there, bro.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Preseason game. Yeah, and what do? We end up losing our star cornerback. I'll never forget that.
Bert D-Man Bennett is on Game Face with us right now. Cisco and the Frattman and Bridget as well. Can you believe that this team is actually worse this year than the team that started 0-6 last season?
Statistically, yeah, absolutely, sure.
Yeah.
We started, I mean, that was a tale of 2 teams last year. I mean, with down the stretch, we finished 7-3.
Yeah, but look at some of the teams that we beat. Again, like this year, who did we beat of note? I remember that 4-game stretch after they went 0-6. Who did we beat? Josh Freeman, who barely had the playbook for a day. Terrell Pryor with the Raiders. Come on, help me out here. Matt Barkley was one of the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And, wow, because you're really setting the world on fire with those 3 quarterbacks, let me tell you.
Yeah.
They're useless wins. They do nothing but retard our draft process.
Well,
Did I just say retard? Is that allowed?
I mean, people forget, too, is that we were 1 play away from actually beating the Cowboys last year. Not, and again, that was the Jaron Hosley wasn't in the game, and, again, the defense couldn't stop Romo. And,
there's a guy who has Jaron Hosley's gone. Let's talk about this now for a second here. First of all, I'm waiting for JPP at some point between now and kickoff. He's going to talk about running the table, right?
Oh, he probably has 18 tweets up in the last 20 minutes.
They're going to run the table?
Got time for that before the game. It's good. It's good to have free time before the game.
They're going to run the table before they lost to Jacksonville. They were going to run the table before they lost to Dallas. They were going to run the table the game before that.
Watch them lose to Tennessee.
And there's Joe Beningo asking Antrell Roll in the interview a couple weeks ago, I ain't going to run the table. How about that?
Cisco, I have a reputation as being a very positive Giants fan. Watch out for today. You're right. This is this is another game that we don't bring anything on the road. Hell, we can't even hold the lead at home.
That's right.
Exactly.
All right, let's talk about some players here who are not going to be on the team next year. How about Larry Donnell? I'm sick and tired of seeing this guy coughing the ball up. Out of here. How about Ruben Randall? I'm sick and tired of seeing his lackadaisical approach to the game.
He's just
out of here.
Apathetic almost.
Yeah, he's the king of bad routes.
Beeson, out of here. Too many injuries, too
old.
Eat the
contract.
JPP, out of here.
You watch. He'll be a Jet or a Raider next year. You watch.
Yeah, that's right.
Roll.
Yeah. Well, the Raiders will turn around and give JPP $150 million over 3 years.
As long as it isn't us.
And if I hear one more Giant fan say you can't get rid of him, I just got his jersey. You want to know what? Go buy a new jersey.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's the reason to keep him, right? So you could be 3-9 again next year.
$90.
Yeah.
Well, you get some great tweets on on a late Saturday night if you ever watch JPP on Twitter. It's fantastic.
Interesting.
All right, and Cisco says we're up against the clock here, but I do want to get real quick here, Bert. There's lots of discussion. I still think as long as they get rid of Perry Fuel and they clean up some other things, I do believe I want to see Coughlin come back next year, even after losing the Jacksonville game. A lot of people think he's gone after losing that Jacksonville game.
He's gone.
So they're talking about head coaching replacements. I'm seeing a lot of names on the list, like Jim Harbaugh.
No. He'll be the Jets head coach. You watch.
No, he won't go to Michigan. He'll never take the Jets job. Never.
You don't think so?
No way. He would never want himself involved with Johnson over there. No way.
Brady Hoke just got fired at Michigan. He will be the head coach at Michigan.
Yeah, he'll go to Michigan.
I agree.
Bill Cowher, who has been out of the game way too long, his name is on the short list as well.
Nothing without LeBeau and Wisenhunt. Careful with that hire.
Nick Saban, who I think just
ain't going nowhere.
Stunk up the joint when he was in the NFL. I don't want him anywhere near the Giants. The one guy who I'm starting to hear, who I actually am excited about, is Arizona defensive coordinator Todd Bowles.
Oh, yeah. I would take that little defensive
that would move it in a good
swag.
direction, huh? Going to a defensive coach. Last time that happened, that was actually pretty good for us.
Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely.
They haven't had a defensive-minded head coach in quite a while.
Since Parcells.
Has it been since Parcells?
No, since Ray Handley.
No, Ray Handley was.
No. We're talking real head coach.
He was he was an offensive guy. Ray Handley.
Yeah, he was offensive.
He was running back coach.
He was offensive.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was offensive.
Quite.
I can't even say his name.
Yeah, who wants to say his name?
Coach who remains nameless.
Ray.
Unnecessary roughness on the receiving team. Holding number 92 on the return team. All those fouls offset at the spot of that foul. First down, Dallas.
How about taking 10 seconds to throw a flag now, refs in the NFL? The play's over, 10 seconds later, a flag is thrown. Yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah.
No, it's the blatant ones that are missed and the ticky-tacky ones that are called in today's NFL. Hey, Goodell, get your crew together.
Bert D-Man Bennett on Game Face with us. Hey, we still got some football left in us this morning. Come back with us here in just a moment. CBS Sports Radio, 940 WINE. Back in mere moments.
I'm Dominique Dawes, and there's a big advantage parents can give their kids: making sure they get active at least 60 minutes each day. Studies show that physical activity not only helps kids stay healthy, it can enhance important skills like concentration and problem solving, which can improve academic performance. Help your kids in the most important game of all, life. Learn more at fitness.gov.
Brought to you by HHS. I'm Drew Brees, and being a dad means the world to me. And one of the most important things any parent can do is make sure their kids get active at least 60 minutes each day. Studies show that physical activity not only helps kids stay healthy, it can enhance important skills like concentration and problem solving, which can improve academic performance. This means physical activity can help your kids in the most important game of all, life. Learn more at fitness.gov.
Brought to you by HHS.
There are great offers from HomeDepot.com every day during Cyber Week. So, let's do Sunday's offer. A Ryobi One Plus 4-piece Super Combo Kit. At $129, you save $80. You won't find a price like this every day, and you won't find this one tomorrow. So go online now before they're gone. Cyber Week savings only on HomeDepot.com. Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Online only. See HomeDepot.com for details.
Geico presents Strange Savings Stories. Ken Marcus was making a pastrami sandwich when he noticed an odd pattern on a slice of pumpernickel bread, one that spelled out Geico. Ken found himself visiting Geico.com, saving hundreds of dollars on car insurance with great discounts. Later, Ken felt conflicted whether or not he should eat the slice of bread that saved him so much money. But he was so hungry.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
The only sports show that rags on other sports shows. Game Face with the Frattman. Hit it. This is Sports Radio 940 WINE.
Game Face.
Fantasy football.
Fantasy football.
Fantasy football.
You guys always have a good team. What is your secret?
The Cisco Kid. Cisco Kid was a friend of mine.
Sponsor shout off the top for Fantasy Face, Alexander's Restaurant here, Brookfield, Connecticut, on Federal Road. Frattman.
Yeah, buddy.
Where else can you get 2 delicious, large, real professional Italian pizzas? Not Domino's, not the garbage. Where can you get that for $20? 2 large pies.
$20?
Yeah, that's it.
Where's mine?
Greedy SOB. Alexander's in Brookfield, Connecticut, Federal Road. Fantasy Face this week, Ravens at the Dolphins. Torrey Smith with Brent Grimes likely on Steve Smith is poised to have a big game. He's been huge lately, so keep an eye on him. I see Steve Smith as a sit. Again, Grimes is one of the premier corners in the game, and we'll probably try to take him, if anyone, out of the Ravens' potential offensive attack. Lamar Miller is a start for me. He'll actually run the ball this week. And Haloti Ngata is out with the 4-game PED suspension. There's no bueno.
Man, what is he thinking?
So watch out. He apologized. He owned up to it. I took the Adderall. That's it. What is this Adderall?
Yeah,
stuff
but
anyway?
Adderall,
what do you do
problem?
with that? What, you can't concentrate? What's wrong?
What are you, Mr. Commissioner, what are you, my freaking father? Ugh.
Jarvis Landry, the wide receiver, the other wide receiver from LSU, who in the last 5 games has 5 touchdowns. That's the kid I actually wanted from LSU. I'm happy with Odell Beckham Jr. Don't get me wrong. But Jarvis Landry is going to be another special player in the NFL. Keep an eye on him. Obvious starts are Justin Forsett, Ravens defense, and Miami wide receiver Mike Wallace. Steelers at the Bengals. Giovanni Bernard is getting only half the carries, but he gets plenty of touches as a pass catcher, so in a PPR league, he could be relevant. Jeremy Hill, Bengals is a start, even though, again, they are splitting carries. Hill gets more of the goal line looks because of his size-speed combination. Obvious starts, Roethlisberger, Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown. No sits of note. Colts at the Browns. Dan Herron is the start, been much better than Trent Richardson. Keep an eye out for Ray Rice over there, as we said before. Browns is a start. Isaiah Crowell for the Browns, rather, is a start. Crowell would have a better chance with Johnny Manziel at the helm, but at least he'll be getting a good amount of the touches this week. Obvious starts, Andrew Luck, T.Y. Hilton, Josh Gordon. I would sit Kobe Fleener. Actually, with Dwayne Allen back, Kobe Fleener is looking to get less touches. So, again, keep an eye on Dwayne Allen's injury status. They say he's going to be back for this game. He is one of Luck's favorite targets over the middle. And Terrence West is another sit. Mike Pettin did not have nice things to say about West last week. Top performance. Careful. Giants at the Titans, obvious starts, Odell Beckham. I would start the Giants defense today. Zach Mettenberger has to prove himself as a viable NFL starter there.
Whoa. They're going up against another rookie quarterback?
Let's say start him.
The Giants defense against another rookie quarterback 2 weeks in a row?
So
That's it,
What
man.
are you saying?
I'm saying that
what are you saying?
The rookie's going to take the Titans down the field and score a touchdown to win the game with a minute and a half left.
Jets at Vikings, obvious starts on the Jets' offensive side, no one. I would start the Vikings defense here. I would sit all the Jets, and I would sit Jerick McKinnon's got a tough matchup against a stout Jets run defense. He might be out for the game. Again, I've heard different reports there, so keep an eye, again, on your injury wire going into the game. And Bridge, we have the 49ers at the Raiders. I would sit Colin Kaepernick. He didn't run at all last week, which is pretty telling. He has really regressed this season.
He has not been looking good.
No, he's definitely digressing.
Yeah, why?
We're not exactly sure why.
That's interesting, especially with a guy like Harbour as your head coach, who is an offense. He's cutting-edge offense.
Dude, I'm telling you, the Rams game that I saw, they had a linebacker spy him the entire game, and when you do that, he's just not running free and throwing the ball. He's got somebody in his face and having to react to that and then throwing the ball. He hasn't taken that next step.
You know what
like
I also think
Russell Wilson has.
I also believe that he's still used to the college not finding the pocket kind of play, just, throwing the ball. He's got to get used to that.
What, figuring out defenses from the pocket?
Yes.
Yeah, that's not going to happen for him. He just looks like he's got happy feet. And in fairness, Alex Boone has not been good this year. Jonathan Martin was getting whooped a couple of weeks ago in the Seattle game. So, I mean, they get a break here with the Raiders. I would sit Crabtree. I would sit Vernon Davis. I would sit Latavius Murray, running back for the Raiders. And I would sit Michael Rivera, tight end also. I would start the 49ers defense, trying to see what Derek Carr can muster. And, of course, Seahawks at the Eagles. I would start Russell Wilson. I would start beast mode. I would start the Seahawks defense. I would sit LaShawn McCoy. That's going to be I think it's going to be a tough matchup for him. I would sit Sanchez, and I would start Jordan Matthews, though. For some reason, down by the goal line, they seem to have some kind of, synchronicity going on. So Jordan Matthews is a start, even though Sanchez is a sit. And that is this week's Fantasy Face segment for here on Game.
Cisco.
Órale, suecito.
Bobby Wagner back for that Seahawks defense.
They're just starting to get their swag back. But again, West Coast team traveling east does not bode well for them.
Big advantage for the Eagles there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they need this game to stay ahead.
So my question for you, Cisco, and Bridget, double question here for both of you, okay? Is JPP correct from a couple weeks ago the Giants are going to run the table? What do you think? Giants run the table?
That's negative, Alpha Charlie. It's negative.
I'm being very facetious there, of course. Bert D-Man Bennett was in the house. Big time thanks to him for coming on the show here today. It's Game Face every Sunday morning, 9 o'clock Eastern. Year freaking round. Going to come back and wrap it up here in just a moment.
You are the one supreme being.
Are you able to be found online by consumers in need of your services? Are you aware that 75% of users never scroll past the first page of results? If you don't have a site, or your existing site cannot be found, are you potentially losing business? Interested in hearing more to get a leg up on your competition? Call 203-648-4006 or visit townsquareinteractive.com.
It's coming. Connecticut's newest, most delicious winter festival. The first annual Connecticut Wing Fest. Saturday night, January 24th at the Matrix Conference and Banquet Center in Danbury. Who will win the title of Connecticut's best wings? There will be contests, music, and wingies.
Tell me what wingies.
Tickets are $15 in advance, and they are available at ConnecticutWingFest.com. The Connecticut Wing Fest, Saturday, January 24th at the Matrix Conference and Banquet Center in Danbury.
All right, we're going to wrap it up here this morning. It's Game Face.
In your face.
In your face matchups. All right, shout out Mail Pack Car Wash. Great place to get it cleaned inside and out. Cisco and the Frattman and Bridget here every Sunday morning, 9 o'clock Eastern. Those of you listening for the first time this week, thank you so much for liking our Facebook page and for joining us. We are here every Sunday morning, even when it's not football season, 9 o'clock. Bridge, we got 3 good-looking games here today.
We do. Week 14, starting off 4:05 kickoff. I picked Kansas City at Arizona.
Yeah. What an and I love those interconference games. We really do.
They are. They've been good this year, the interconference matchups. Yeah. KC on the rise, defense good. Drew Stanton, it seems like they're on the decline. I mean, they took it on the chin from Atlanta last week. So we'll see what happens at KC.
I don't think Arizona loses 3 games in a row.
And they're undefeated at home as well.
Yes, there you go. Good stuff.
Right, so 4:25, Seattle at Eagles.
Ooh, well, we were talking about this game earlier. If Philadelphia had to go to Seattle for this game, they'd be in big trouble.
Yeah, but for some reason, there's something about the trip. You know,
yeah.
Lots of miles.
I tell you, man, it's hard for me to do this as a Giants fan, but boy, am I rooting for the Eagles. I want Dallas sitting home again for the playoffs.
Totally rooting for the Eagles.
No doubt. Yeah. No doubt.
Tonight's 8:30 game, New England at the San Diego Chargers.
Ooh. All right. What do you think, Cisco?
You never know what Charger team you're going to get.
I find it interesting that Belichick decided to go directly to San Diego after last week's game in Green Bay. They didn't go back to New England.
Smart. It's smart. Logistically, it's smart. You just cut the travel in half. You get there, you're asleep, and you're more in tune with your body's natural circadian rhythm. Intelligence,
man, I don't know.
Intelligence.
Wow. I don't know. I mean, it could be a disadvantage
you like
not
that,
being
Bridge?
back home.
You like that circadian rhythm?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, look that one up. Huh? I listened in school. I'm smart. I'm smart, Michael, and I want respect.
No, you just got a thesaurus you carry around with you. That's what it is.
That too.
He's got a thesaurus on his phone.
In your pocket.
Got everything on our phone now.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so those are 3 good games in your face matchups here on Game Face. Thank you, Bridge.
No problem.
Peace.
All right, we're wrapping it up. See you next week. Right here, 9 o'clock Eastern, next Sunday. Bye-bye.
Pick your playoff.